So what is practical shotgun? I get people asking me this all the time, as in the ins and outs of it. It's very simple, really. Popular sport in the UK, becoming more and more so as time goes on, because it's quite a bit more free than a lot of target shooting you'd normally do. But essentially, you have a course like this. This is our shotgun pit, and you have steel, like you have behind me, and you lay out a course around tyres, that sort of thing. So it's a bit like room clearing, I suppose. And you're going against the clock, and you start off with a buzzer that sounds like this. And then you get round as quickly as you can, making sure to shoot all of the targets. If you miss any, there's a time penalty. So it's often a good idea to go slow and steady and make sure that you get everything rather than try and rush it, miss something and find you've got a good time but you've got a horrendous time penalty. The next thing, of course, is what gun? Now, you're going to need a Section 1 shotgun, ideally. You can use Section 2. We sometimes let Section 2 guys have a go. That means that they can have a 3-shot semi-auto or pump, or obviously an over and under or a side-by-side or a single shot even, if they want. Some cowboy competitions they do in the States use double barrels quite a lot. I've had a go with my double barrel around here before, and it was good fun, but to be honest, it really needed some TLC after that. Over and unders aren't really designed to have that many rounds put through them that quickly, especially a game gun. But I digress. You need a Section 1, which means you can have high capacity. This is my Winchester SXP. I did a review of this recently. If you haven't seen that, check the channel and you'll find that. This holds 10 rounds in the tube and 1 in the chamber, which means it's got a decent capacity, which is very important for when you're doing the course, although of course reloading is really important too. So what ammunition do you use? You need basically something like number 6 birdshot. This is 6.5 shot actually, but as long as it's smaller than 6, you're good to go. 7, 7.5, etc. No problem at all. It's advantageous because any other load, like SG or double-aught buck or even rifled slugs, you can use those in practical shotgun, but you can't use them in a pit like this where you're shooting at steel and you're moving around the course. You have to instead shoot into the range, which we do set up. You'll often have different firing points in front of the range, obstacles to shoot around. So you're essentially starting off like this. You'll go around something like that, maybe go over here and shoot like that. But you know, you are limited because you are relying on the safety of the backstop with the range. But using number 6, you can have a pit like this, and that gives you a lot more freedom. So let's have a look at the course I've set up and you can get a bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. For this test, we're going to start here. I'll be sat in that chair, the buzzer will go. I'll run over to here. This is where my gun will be, fully loaded, ready to fire. This is the firing point. We've got 3 targets downrange, so boom, boom, boom. We'll come running across here, preferably reloading as we go. So we get to the second firing point, which is here, between these 2 tyres. And then we've got another 4 targets to engage, so boom, 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 boom. We come across here. This is the next firing point. Boom, boom. Over to here. Boom, boom. Down to here. Boom, and then around. Oh, it's fallen down, but there is one up there. Boom. I'll fix that before I go. And then through here, into this structure, around the corner, and then leaning across, we've got this swinging target, so it's just a question of a shot on each one, and that'll be the end of it. What makes this a bit different to clay shooting is it's not so much an issue in terms of accuracy. Accuracy, you know, there's an element of that. Your gun needs to fit you, and you know, the same rules do apply actually, because some competitions they will have clay pigeons and things, so you'll hit a target, some steel, it'll trigger something and a clay will fly up and you'll have to sort of take that down as well. We can't do that here anymore because of the area we're in. No shot can like leave the boundaries basically, so we don't have that anymore. So there is an element of that, but fundamentally it's really about reloading and kind of counting your shots and knowing what you're up against next. So for instance, I've got those first 3 targets, I'd engage them. Before I get to these sets of targets here, ideally I'd load another 3 in the gun. But as you're going around, if you've got an idea of how many shots you've got and you know how many targets to engage in the next section, you don't want to over reload either, because if you do, you're wasting time. You know, you only want to load in as many as you can. Now there's different techniques people use to load up. Some guys kind of will take a lot more, this guy's a lot more skilled than me, I hasten to add. Will take sort of 3 or 4 rounds in their hand and they'll have the gun up like this and they'll just feed it in from underneath like that as they're going around. That's alright. What I tend to do is I turn the gun over and put it under my arm like this to give me some support, and then I've got a nice open area here to feed them into as I'm going along. Now, some guys will, after they've shot, they'll flip the gun upside down like this. See when the chamber's forward. They'll flip the gun up like this and they'll feed in like that. Now that works too, but I find it a bit awkward, and I don't like the safety of it. I don't like the muzzle so close to my hand. So personally, I prefer to do the same thing, but under here like that. That's a lot more comfortable, and I feel a lot safer. But each to their own, really. That's a question of you know, whatever suits you, to be honest, because everyone's got their own style, etc. And everyone will train a lot to sort of perfect it, because that is really the fundamental thing in practical shotgun, is the speed of how fast you can reload. Some guys will have these funky belts. I mean, you can see I've just got a regular, I get the nick taken out of me, to be honest, because I've just got a regular hunting belt. But a lot of the guys will have these really expensive fancy belts, which will have kind of like blocks of 4 shells, one after the other, so they can just grab 4 at once, load them in the gun, and then grab another 4, and so on. So there is a lot to it, and it takes a lot of practice. Some guys will use dummy rounds at home just to perfect it, but there is a lot of skill involved, along with, like I said, predicting the targets and just knowing not to over-reload. Now, safety is an important issue too. Obviously, eye protection, ear protection is essential, especially down here. When there's a competition going, you'll have shot flying everywhere. I mean, it's just like mosquitoes going around the place. So you will get shot, you'll get hit quite often. Of course, because it's birdshot, it's not going to hurt you unless it hits you in the eyes. So it's really important to cover your eyes. Aside from that, you may decide to have the shooters only shooting in a certain direction. For instance, you might have them only shooting that way, and you would set up the course, you know, for that. But you may shoot in other directions too, but the important thing is you make sure that you keep everyone who's waiting to shoot in a cordoned off area, and that at no time is the shooter's muzzle going in that direction. Aside from that, you normally have a range officer following you, as I said before, who's got the beep who's timing you, and he will be literally just like breathing down your neck as you're going around, and he'll often keep re-emphasising as you're doing the shoot to certain points where you've got to keep your muzzle, say, in this direction as you're going along like this, that sort of thing, just to make sure that you're being safe. So, as with anything, safety comes before anything else. So practical shotgun's great fun. It suits all abilities. You don't need a lot. Even if you've only got a Section 2 shotgun, you can use that. I know Callum over at EnglishShooting, he used a Section 2 the other day and had cracking fun doing it. So it suits everybody, all abilities. Some people take it really seriously, some people don't take it seriously at all and just come down, and obviously they take safety seriously, but you know, they're not big shooters. And some people are just, you know, in the middle really. So it suits everyone, all abilities. So, you know, if you've got a club near you, go down and have a go, because I can guarantee you'll really enjoy it. It gives you a lot more fun and a competition, and it's a lot more sociable than just, you know, punching holes in paper all the time down the range. It gives you something a little bit different to do. So either way, let's crack on. I'm going to go around this course now, get the head cam on, and we'll see how I get on. Ooh, major malfunction. So as you may have seen at the end of the last run, had a bit of an accident. This cap goes on the end of here, and it's just sheared off somehow. Quite surprising, to be honest. I'll have to get a new one. But I mean, I've known it become loose before, but never actually just shear off completely. So either way, I'll have to get another one soon. But well, these things happen, I suppose. So if there's a club near you, get on down there, do some practical shotgun. You'll have a really good time, and you know, you'll make new friends and you'll enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe.